welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, 2 Coffee County schools are closed before the school year even started. Coffee County Mayor Gary Cordell implored citizens to wear face coverings, and the 2020 census needs your help. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. And I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash junking up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
We know life at home can sometimes feel like you're living in a bubble. There are challenges living safely in a multi-generational home during COVID-19. Here are a few tips. Separate eating times between family members. Limit trips to the store and contact with people outside of your house. Be sure to remove your mask before entering into the main area of your home. Wash your hands and wipe off items you used through the day. Also, try using every room in your home. This won't last forever, but together we will get through this. For more information, go to tn.gov/health.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. On Tuesday afternoon, it was announced that Coffee County Middle School and North Coffee Elementary School will be closed until Monday. Coffee County Schools Director Dr. Charles Lawson sent out an update to the announcement on Wednesday that read, quote, "This press release is to provide a little more information about the closures of Coffee County Middle School and North Coffee Elementary. The decision to close these 2 schools was made because Coffee County Schools did not want to bring students into an area in which we could not guarantee minimum risk of exposure to COVID-19. The closures will allow test results to be finalized, extra disinfectant to occur, and staffing decisions to be made. No school will be opened in which there is concern that we cannot protect our students. The most significant difficulty in both situations is not the active cases that have been identified. The challenge is the fact that several other staff members have been identified as potentially exposed and must quarantine for 2 weeks. The district is making adjustments in staffing assignments in order to provide an appropriate learning environment for all students. Please understand that the school district has not identified any type of significant spread of COVID-19 in the schools, and our staff is hard at work in all buildings in the district. As stated previously, the closures are a result of an abundance of caution to protect our students. Further information on how each school will reopen will be available later this week. This decision will be determined by the preparations that are currently being performed, as well as the change in the number of active cases of COVID-19 in Coffee County. Thank you, end quote. So far, no other schools in the area have been closed, but on Wednesday, Manchester City Schools announced that an employee with Manchester City Schools has a confirmed case of COVID-19, but that no schools would be closed. The school system said Manchester City Schools will continue to monitor the situation and make adjustments as necessary. Should the situation require a change in our procedures, our families will be notified. At press time, no schools in Tullahoma have been closed. Governor Lee held a press conference yesterday where he spoke about the difficult choices being made in reopening schools and that the state has a plan to keep children and faculty safe.
Is there a need for a framework so that every school gets similar information, whereas one school might get a ton of information, another school might opt to tell parents nothing, and I think that gray area could be troublesome for families. I'm curious your thoughts.
Yeah, we agree with that, with the assessment that we need to make certain that reporting is accurate there. So we're working on a plan to, in fact, be able to report school cases. We do want to protect the individual privacy of families and students. Patient re-identification is important, but transparency is also important. So we've had some pretty strong discussions among our unified command group about just how it is that we can update and develop a strategy. It's not really update. We're just now dealing with this, but develop a strategy for case reporting for schools. And we'll be talking and announcing what that plan is in the next several days. I don't have a time frame on that yet, but we know it's urgent because we need schools to know now that they're opening up, and we'll develop that plan. Yeah, we've done a lot of work around that, as you know. We also know we're going to have cases. We developed a very clear protocol that has been given to individual districts. And that protocol is based on community spread in a county. So it's different for different counties depending on the level of virus that exists in their community. Those protocols give them guidance on when to close a classroom, when to cordon off a hallway or a wing or a school. And those districts have that information. That combined with the protection for teachers, those are just a couple of examples of how we believe we've set aside and put forth guidance that will allow for safe reopening.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no. This warrior will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back. Thursday's Tullahoma mayoral race was a back-and-forth event. We now take you to the final results of Tullahoma's city elections.
Daniel Berry leads in the mayor's race, 734 over Ray Noes at 629. Carl Smithson, 95, and write-in votes, 286. In the alderman's race, Robin Dunn leads that with 1168. Robin is the incumbent in this race. And Jenna Armarker with 1,055, securing that other seat, it looks like. It's been like that all night long, Kelly.
It sure is.
In the school board, Kim Hosselton leads with 1190, followed by Amy Rogers Dodson with 1133, and Patrick Welch with 957, and Gigi Robinson with 837. So Gigi Robinson still trailing here. There are 3 seats available here.
Now, we're talking, of course, tonight, we're keeping an eye on who's going to be our next mayor, and it's good to know our current mayor is watching with us tonight. He gave us a text and let us know about when those confirmations of the votes and the swearing in would happen. Jim, why don't you tell us what the answer to that question was?
It was nice enough of Mayor Curley to when we were discussing a moment ago when the mayoral candidates and the alderman got sworn in, and of course he knew that.
Of course he did.
And he says that the election is certified on August the 20th, and they will be sworn in on August 24th. So
there you go.
It is going to be a couple of weeks then, actually.
So August 24th, we will see our new mayor, who, of course, right now looks very, very likely to be Daniel Berry. But again, there was a very, very large early voting turnout that just makes it hard to call.
We're looking at
now it's completely on the other side. So something was keyed in. Yeah, we're going to keep confirming that. It looks like we got a call coming in because now Ray Noes went completely the other way in early voting, and it becomes a landslide for him at 1,202.
Unbelievable.
So we're doing a little bit of double checking now. Those are good. Those are good. So now let's take a look at those current totals, because that really did switch the. Now, for the alderman's race, Robin Dunn soundly takes the lead in early voting, 1824, followed by Jenna Almacher at 1316, and Ashley Shockley once again trailing. And considering this is the last number we were looking for, that's going to be trailing in the final total counts as well. School board. We are going to look at Kim Usselton taking the lead there, and that's by a couple hundred votes, 1791 for Kim, and even 1500 for Amy Rogers Dodson. Pat Welsh really, really close there at 1506, and then, of course, there was one more I didn't read. Gigi was behind. Oh, these are the finals. Here we go. Gonna call it. Look at that all night. Daniel Berry in the lead. We had a mistype in those early votings that made it look like he had it, and then there you go. We got the right number in, and Ray Noes pulls it out in the last seconds. Again, this will be certified on August 20, but right now there's no reason to believe that's not the result. That we've got Ray Noes, the next mayor of Tullahoma, followed closely by Daniel Berry, and what's got to be a very sad defeat right there in the final moments as we got those early voting totals in. Now, of course, in every other race, it's pretty much what you expected all night long. We've got Jenna Almacher and Robin Dunn. Robin Dunn, the vote leader at 2992. Jenna Almacher, 2371. Those are your Tullahoma aldermen, one of whom one will be taking, Robin Dunn is staying in her own seat. The other one is taking Mr. Mathis's seat. I was about to say they'd be taking Ray Noes's, but that's not how it worked, and we've already covered that. In the school board, just as you've seen all night, Kim Usselton is the vote leader, 2981, followed by Amy Rogers Dodson at 2633, and J. Patrick Welsh at 2463, leaving Gigi Robinson unseated on the school board this time out as Amy Rogers takes her seat. And of course, Sid Hill will stay right where he is, but look at that, 3,307 votes in his favor in votes that weren't even required. So good for him.
Unbelievable, yeah, what a finish. And you know, we saw that in the votes that were cast at the polls today all night long, Daniel Berry winning here. Not by a huge margin. It was pretty close all the way through there. But then all of a sudden when those early votes come in,
Noes supporters voted early. There you go. There's no reason. That's it. Mayor Ray Noes, congratulations to you. Thank you, former Mayor Lane Curley, for all of your 31 years of service to our community. We appreciate you tuning in as well tonight and letting us know when those votes will be certified. And Noes and all the other winners we named tonight will be sworn in on the 24th.
All right. And Mayor Curley, if when you don't have anything to do, when I can't see you getting a real job, but if you don't have anything to do, we'll always be happy to have you as a consultant on our TV broadcasts of future elections and that kind of thing. To all the candidates, however, though,
absolutely
great job.
Love to hear you weigh in for everything.
You have to admire them for putting themselves out there
absolutely.
and going through this.
Absolutely.
And we're fortunate to have a great group of candidates who are all very qualified, and a lot of positive things happened in this election. I think out there the city's going to be better off for it.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. The Isaiah 117 House, Coffee, Franklin, Grundy had their contractors dinner on last Thursday night at Oak Lawn Baptist Church in Winchester. As guests enjoyed barbecue and homemade desserts, founder Rhonda Paulson told the story of the Isaiah 117 House. The Isaiah 117 House is a transitional home for children awaiting foster placement. Isaiah 117 wants to provide a comforting home where children can wait that is safe with loving volunteers, clean clothes, smiles, toys, and snuggly blankets. The space will allow children to receive the comfort and care they need while the Department of Children's Services staff are able to work on good foster placement. Plans are being made for this home to be built in our area to serve the children of Coffee, Franklin, and Grundy County. Local coordinator Susan Johnson let the attendees know about how they can pitch in to help build the house. At the dinner, many contractors, painters, plumbers, and electricians committed to supporting the project. If you would like more information on Isaiah 117 House, you can visit the Facebook page Isaiah 117 House, Coffee, Franklin, Grundy County, or the website at www.isaiah117house.com. If you'd like to help with the project, please contact Susan Johnson at 931-808-7564 or Susan at Isaiah117house.com. Coffee County Mayor Gary Cordell sent out a press release on Monday saying, quote, "We are asking citizens to follow the CDC's guidelines regarding masks outlined in their July 14, 2020 press release. Following are some excerpts in a press release from CDC regarding mask wearing and data to show it can prevent the spread of COVID-19. Americans are increasingly adopting the use of cloth face masks to slow the spread of COVID-19, and the latest science may convince even more to do so." In an editorial published today in the Journal of American Medical Association, CDC reviewed the latest science and affirms that cloth face coverings are a critical tool in the fight against COVID-19 that could reduce the spread of the disease, particularly when used universally within communities. There is increasing evidence that cloth face coverings help prevent people who have COVID-19 from spreading the disease disease to others. We are not defenseless against COVID-19, said CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield. Cloth face coverings are one of the most powerful weapons we have to slow and stop the spread of the virus, particularly when used universally with a community setting. All Americans have a responsibility to protect themselves, their families, and their communities. By coming together as a community and following these guidelines, we can do our part to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 and protect our community. Gary Cordell, County Mayor, end quote. We'll be right back after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. Governor Lee has called legislators back into session to help decide how to appropriate funds for COVID-19 relief in the state.
I want to talk a little bit about the special session. I've called the legislature together to meet next Monday to take up legislation that we were working on but that wasn't complete at the last session, specifically extending liability protections to businesses and schools and nonprofits and healthcare workers and organizations across the state to protect those from frivolous laws. Excuse me, could you get me some water, please? Frivolous lawsuits associated with COVID-19. Organizations and individuals are facing enough uncertainty, and we need to make sure that they have that certainty of liability protection going forward. So we'll be working on that. The General Assembly also will look to expand and address the need for telehealth, particularly in a time when we can modernize our healthcare system to give Tennesseans more flexibility and access to coverage through the pandemic and beyond. So we'll be working on that telehealth piece of legislation. There's a third piece of business that the legislature will take up that will address laws governing the Capitol grounds and surrounding areas when it comes to issues like vandalism, defacement, or other offenses against state property. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor McNally and Speaker Sexton. They have, in particular, along with leadership in both chambers, been working hard to put together the pieces of this legislation. The administration will be bringing forth these bills, but it's taken a lot of work to get us to the point where we are today so that when we get into the special session, we can accomplish what needs to get done there. I also want to thank Lieutenant Governor and Speaker, along with the Comptroller, members of the legislature, both Democrats and Republicans, who've come together to create the Financial Stimulus Accountability Group that we have put together to make decisions around the coronavirus relief funding that we've received from the federal government. This funding is intended to support relief and support for issues around COVID. It has to be spent by the end of the year or we have to return it, so we are developing a plan to make sure that those funds are spent wisely. With the help of this bipartisan group, we're not only providing support to businesses, as has been identified, but also to K through 12, higher education, nonprofits, and local governments. So far, more than $100 million has been distributed to Tennessee businesses, small businesses across the state, and we want to make sure that we communicate with as many of those small businesses as possible, because all of them have not accessed those funds. They need to go to the Department of Revenue website to provide the information necessary for them to get the checks that are due them and that are coming their way. So we encourage that. There's been, besides that $100 million so far, $81 million has been distributed to K-12 and to higher education institutions for safe opening of schools. $150 million is coming online this month to go to support nonprofits across the state that are serving Tennesseans in a number of ways through this COVID-19 pandemic. And local governments also have access to $115 million in grants. This is in addition to the $200 million that previously was set aside through the budget by the General Assembly.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's got to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stamping Nab Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stem McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stem McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. The record high on this day was in 1930 at 102 degrees. The record low was in 1989 at 50 degrees. Average high on this day is 87 and the average low is 67. Clear weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 67. Mostly sunny weather expected on Sunday with a high of 93 and a low of 70. Some evening storms in the forecast for Monday with a high of 92 and a low of 70. And scattered storms expected on Tuesday with a high of 89 and a low of 71. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6.